Welcome back. Here's where you left off. Spoilers ahead for Armored Book 2 Sentinel by Mark Greaney.
Armored Sentinel. Final book review. We're going to be talking about the good, the bad, the ugly about this book, and what we like, what we don't like. The reason why I keep talking right now because I am saving my opinions because this is going to be a very, very emotional and very opinionative review. Okay.
Yeah, you have so much video. I mean, we were talking about this in the last episode, and Khan is one of those characters that I was saying to you that I think was really we lost a lot from that. We wanted to see a lot more of Khan in the book because he was the big boss guy. He was the baddie. He was the guy that you want. He's the Gruber from Die Hard. You want to see Duffy get to him, and he gets caught at a border. Like this guy's like an expert. He gets caught at a border. Like what? The customs agent's like, I don't think you're who. I'm gonna take you with the customs.
Do you have anything to declare? Oh, nothing to declare. I don't think so. You've been in the country for more than 30 days, so let's kind of search you. Okay, so let's talk about the whole entire. Let's talk about the beginning all the way to the middle to the end, and we both talked about this several times already throughout the whole for the past 6 episodes regarding Armored 2, the Sentinel book. The biggest thing that I was worried about, and not worried, but more kind of like. Yeah, the best word is worried. In the first 6 chapters was the flashback. The flashback when Duffy and Condor was working together as a mercenary, as a contract person, and when Sentinel's trying to steal weapons, right? And that's when the tension between Duffy and Sentinel started, right? And I already told this in the first episode of this book. That I thought I was reading the wrong book. I had to stop.
It threw you off.
It threw me off so much that there's not even saying it's not even a prologue. If it's a prologue, it makes a lot of sense. But it just went to chapter 1. I was like, well, what the WTF? I was just so confused of what's happening that. I think I messaged you. I think I did message you, or I just waited until I finished reading that part. And I'm like, oh, it's a flashback. Why was it written like this? And fast forward to the theoretically present, that he's working for the State Department as a diplomatic security services. After what happened in Mexico, now it makes more sense. It just confused the crap out of me, but. The way the Nicole and Duffy's relationship, I think I mentioned this before, with their kids and with their jobs is completely the opposite what happened in book 1, because you saw this evolution of who they are, right? So
I mean, when we look at it was okay, but if you look at the percentage, like 50% of this book had this plot of the baddies making the plan, Khan directing them, the professor and Condor, and we have them moving through the progression. And then we get to the tipping point in the book where just Condor recognizing Duffy destroys their entire plan. And I found that a little weak. I would have preferred to have Duffy's influence in the events be the thing that throws their plans off. I know I keep on talking about Die Hard, but really, I just wanted to have that versus what we got was Khan sitting there going, this is my plan, stick to it. It's a very good plan. And Condor freaking out that Duffy's there. He's like, oh my God, Duffy's here. He knows everything. He's got to tell everyone. Like, who cares? Like, just follow the plan. By the time it's done, you're going to be out and free. Like, you're a mercenary. What do you care if he knows it's you? You know?
It's kind of funny though, because you're right. Because if every single bad guy out there and just saw their high school friend and next thing they start freaking out, the world would be a lot more safer, right? And in this case, in this case, Condor is probably the worst person you're ever gonna see because he's just, it's like if you saw a puppy, everything in the plan will go down south really, really fast, and that's what happened to him because he saw.
Are we making John Wick references now?
Of course,
Is that what we're doing?
of course. Why not? We already did Die Hard, so might as well do John Wick. So it's like saying that the Condor saw someone, right? He's like, oh, I know this guy. But before all that happened, Duffy is already throwing wrench in his plans throughout the whole event, right? Even the first shot and tried to assassinate the ambassador. I think the ambassador, and all that started. Duffy was there doing his job, right? And when Condor was trying to shoot at someone, he recognized him, but he did not. He didn't know exactly who that person, but he has an idea who this guy looks familiar. So he contacted Chan.
But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because Duffy hasn't seen Condor. He doesn't.
No, I agree. But remember when he was fighting the Russian in the stairwell, that's when he found out it's Condor. Remember that? And now they're at the. That's when the plot twist started. That this guy knows everything. He knows who he is. He can't just walk away from this anymore. He knows that this guys exist. He has the plan. He has the tablet. Everything went down pretty fast, right? And now he has two avenues. If you're in Condor Street, you have two avenues. One is to deal with Duffy, and the other one, finish the mission. If you finish the mission, you still have to deal with Duffy. If you deal with Duffy, but the mission goes, there's a chance he won't concentrate with the mission, and that's what happened. He took option one, deal with Duffy, and not deal with not finish the assignment, right? So
I mean, I get his logic, but again, Khan doesn't understand the logistics around this. He just says, Condor just says, do what I tell you, find out the information. He's like, well, if you tell me, I'm like the master planner, I'll figure it out. We're not complaining about the plot twist in the sense of what it did. I think when it came to kidnapping the kids, we have a little bit more of an issue with that. But because I think it would have been nicer for Duffy to have it out. I wanted Duffy to have it out with Khan. And as we mentioned, before in the last episode, the book kind of cuts right at the end. And it's not as fulfilling for that piece, right? I wanted more from the ending. Another chapter, another two, just to give us something to feel like a more wrap up than a cut. And it really felt like a hard cut there.
Yeah, it's the last episode we recorded, the last review, it was chapter 38 to 45, right? And going into it, it was pretty exciting because, like what we discussed, the fight scene, the logistics, the professor being an idiot, those kind of things. It was nice to see all that. It was nice to see the turmoil within the country. You saw the kidnapping of the children that we questioned. You see the twist of one of Khan's tech person. We found out she's pregnant. That's why she's been throwing up. I don't know why. I don't know why she's in this. Why she became so pinnacle in these storylines and helping the kids escape. That's another discussion we're going to have later on. But all that felt like chapter 45 was I was being hit by a brick wall. It just ended. And the epilogue itself, it felt like it was literally should be the last chapter. Should be chapter 46. If that's the case, you have a little bit more room to have a proper ending, in my opinion. Because you said Khan got caught in the border, leaving the country, because I got this feeling he got caught because he went over his spending limits or whatever. I don't know. If he gets caught there, I'm like, why are you going through the border? Why not just go around the border? It'll be a lot easier, you know what I mean?
This guy has an entire team of like cyber guys, and they could get into the country, but they can't get out. That
did not make any sense to me. It felt like it would be a lot easier, in my opinion, if you have Chen escape and he continues to the next book. that gives me the satisfaction of
You mean Khan?
Khan moving on to the next one.
I wanted Duffy to have his, and we're totally making movie references here. I wanted Duffy to have his Khan movie. God,
yeah, a little Star Trek there.
Okay, I'm sorry, Star Trek reference here, but come on. I mean, that would have been.
Yeah, don't you agree? If you actually have that. If he escaped and he has that motivations like you ruined my plans, ha 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 ha, it's my turn to revenge my plan. It makes it makes it a lot easier.
That's a good point.
To swallow, right?
I mean, it would have been. I don't necessarily mind him getting away because the main antagonist for Duffy was Condor, and that's fine. But just to be like, he got caught at the border, just put in the epilogue that Khan got away and was exiled from China for failure, which seems like a very legitimate, like plausible thing, and then have him off somewhere plotting his revenge against Duffy. Damn, set up the next damn book. I mean,
exactly. It's that was the biggest thing that I was kind of annoyed about because it was such a great character that it can be potentially going into book 2. He can kill him in book 3. He can kill him in book 3. That's fine, but the way he got caught, it sucks. But let's talk about our favorite part of the book. I think you agree with me. Is the river command security guard, the sergeant. Unfortunately, I am blanking out his name, his character name. But
I'm blanking on his name too. Since we love him so much, it seems really bad.
I know.
I agree. Like he was totally the surprise character in the book that we both loved because he was so motivated. He was a very engaging character. And I really hope he makes an appearance in the next book as like a security guy or something like that, because he was a great character to be with Duffy and to work with him. Because even Duffy's like, "Who the heck are you?"
Yeah,
it's sort of that. He's sort of like, and he's like, "I'm the police officer guy." It's like, "Are you? This is the John McClane. Duffy isn't." It's like, he gets shot like twice. He gets shot twice,
and he's still going.
Fine.
He's a John Wick of this book. That's what he is. But here's the thing, though. Here's about this character I really, really like. Okay, you ready for this one? This is why. Because when he walked into the storyline and stuff, he wakes up with his son crying. He came out, had breakfast with his wife and his son. While reading that, I thought it was a baddie, right? But when he started wearing his uniform, going to work, he saw a van with a bunch of young people with a guy wearing a hood. He knows he's a foreigner, he's just covering his face. So he asks and stop. He's like, "Who are you?" And the guy's like, "It's none of your business. You have zero jurisdiction." But he went to work, told his boss exactly what's happening. He advocates for himself to investigate this because he knows there's something wrong. As soon as he did that, and going to the hangar or to the factory, found out that there's a few trucks there that are impersonating their department, the police force. That's when he said, "We need to stop these people." So he did. His crew got shot. And he literally escaped and crawled out from a pit to save the dam.
To be technically
oh
sure.
My God.
There were stairs there. Come on.
It's
lot
a
of
pit.
stairs. But
We'll just presume it's pit because he's a superhero. So he climbed up. He literally saved the dam. And he saved Duffy. He helped Duffy save his kids. He is John Wick. and from that moment, I thought he was the main character in one point, because Duffy became a side character from him. He became if you look at the perspective that the sergeant's mission is to save Duffy now. You notice that's how I see it. Like, if he wasn't there, you think Duffy will have the opportunity or will have the manpower and the expertise to save his kids? No. The answer is no. You think if he's not there, Duffy will not get out there and to help Nicole's crash helicopter? No.
Oh, I think he would have found it. I mean, his knowledge of the train was
without
good.
him.
It was good.
Yeah, without him, Derek. In my opinion, without him, Duffy will never leave that forest, that area.
It was, like I said, it was a great character to write. It was a nice character to put into the plot that you didn't really expect. And I remember reading the scene where all of the cops he's with gets shot up and killed, and he's on the run and gets, into the mine and so forth, and he's trapped there and he's about to go down. I'm thinking, when I'm reading it, I'm like, I don't think he's supposed to die here, because he's gone through all this stuff, and his motivation is basically that he knows something bad is going to go down, and he knows that he's initiated it. He doesn't know what's going to go on, but he knows that he's upset their plans and that they're going to go do it now because of him interfering. So that's why he's like, I got to get to the dam. I got to get to the dam. He knew before anyone else, but he couldn't communicate it to anyone, really, which is also interesting. He did get a hold of his boss, but his boss never came up again in the book. I found
he got shot. He got killed. Yeah. He was shot. That's why he didn't call back,
I know. What I mean is that his boss didn't initiate anything quickly after he was taken out too quickly to be part of the response. And in a way, it also, I mean, I'm being real picky here, but it doesn't really make sense that they left any of the cops alive on the bridge. Because they're taking over the uniforms and so forth. He had I think it was 5 or 6 guys.
Yeah,
his cop guys with him. After he frees them or whatever. And I'm like, that's a lot of guys to leave alive.
Well, here's the thing though, because when they got caught, when they took over, they put everyone in the security building for hostages, right? Because at the end of the day, if you need hostages, you need hostages. If you decide to blow up the dam, you're gonna blow up the hostages, so you don't need the hostages back right after that. So it makes a lot of sense to keeping them alive, right? And for him, let's go back to what you said, because he discovered the imposters. The imposters did not know that the delegation is coming a day early. He thought that that they're there to attack the delegation. Doesn't matter if they know he thought that they're there to get to do something to the delegation at that moment, right? If you show up, if you put yourself in his shoe, if you show up and saw this happening, you thought that they know the schedule of the delegation, right? They did not say, I'm glad that we're here a day early. So he's not going to know that. So he's just there presuming and anticipating that they're there to do something with the delegation. That's why he said, "You're here with a delegation. You're here to do something with them, to them, right?" That's when everything got confused, right? So if he was the question, if he wasn't there, you think the plans will still go ahead?
I think so. I think that. Yeah, he would have gone ahead. Why did you think it wouldn't have gone ahead?
No, I'm just saying that if you take him out of the equation, saying he didn't show up in fighting who they are, you think?
I mean, someone if you're talking about somebody being useless, it was the professor. That was the useless guy.
No, we're gonna go and talk about the professor soon. But I'm just saying that.
You're not there yet. I'm sorry.
I'm not there yet. Oh my god. Yeah, geez, slow down there. Calm down. But yeah, no. In my opinion, if the sergeant did not follow through with his instinct, the delegation's still gonna be attacked, but later on, or Khan will find out. That's what's gonna happen, right? So if he. Yeah, that's my opinion. But either way, in my opinion, that he is the primary character halfway to the book. Without him, Duffy will never find her skids. If he does, it's gonna be too late. He will never find Nicole. It's gonna be too late.
That's my opinion. Move on to the professor.
Let's move on to the professor. You go ahead. And tell me about the professor. You go ahead. Tell me.
I want to hear what you're gonna say because you've been going on, but the professor was one of those characters that was kind of, when you look at him, I'm like, he's not really a professor because he was totally manipulated, totally used. And even right to the end when Khan is like, just make me this video, just record this victory video. And the guy's like, my guys are being slaughtered. He's like, you didn't have a red flag go up at that point. There's no red flags going up, professor. Like, really? Seriously? He's also kind of a coward. So what can you do? Keeps on going on about being with his men. And then when he's actually in fighting, he's like, you go ahead. You go fight. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, I'm good here. You can just relax and all that good stuff. So it's kind of funny though, because I agree with you. The professor was kind of useless. During the whole book itself, the professor was introduced as
He was the patsy. He was the patsy.
He's
Yeah.
at the end he was the patsy, but the only way we can talk about the professor is to talk about Khan's plan. Khan's plan actually will work. If you look at it, let's dissect this a bit here. Khan's plan is this: he wants the Central Command General to be the next president through a coup. The only way you can have a coup if you have a leader that's one gets dies, or rebels coming in. Khan's job is not to have the current president to be killed. His job is to make sure that the rebels can come in, take over the country, and you have a new general coming in and saying that I defeated the rebels. Now because of you not doing your job properly, I'm removing you from power. That's literally what it is. That's the best way to describe his plan, and the plan will work if Condor, the plan will work if Condor did not freak out. That's what it is. If he did not freak out and just do his job, this mission will go ahead with no issues. But as you said, he saw and had a conversation with Duffy, and Duffy knows who he is. His reputation, he became so nervous and so irate because Duffy called him out. Duffy told him that I know exactly what you're doing. I know who you are. And Condor already said several times too that I want to live through this so I can have fun the money that I made, right? And Duffy calling him out that he knows him. Now he can't live that life. So now he has an option. First option is he can continue with the mission, and the second option is try to eliminate Duffy. And now you have a fork in the road now for Condor. One, continue with the mission and go home with the money and you can live your life. Your second option is kill Duffy, right? Because he knows who you are. But now if you go this route, you may not get the money that you work for, right? He chose option 2.
Yeah.
Right.
Did you have any other do you have any other major issues with the book, did you think?
The other major issue that I have in the book, beside being hit in the forehead with a brick wall in chapter 45, is Khan's IT person. This is the one that got me a little bit of annoyance. Going into, I believe, around chapter 38, 39, around 40-ish.
It was really close to the end.
She was feeling sick, so Khan thought it was malaria. I thought it was malaria. But the reason why, she's already being introduced slowly into it as his go-to person, right? And for her feeling sick and having the kids there after being kidnapped, this is when they introduced that she's pregnant. And that point, as soon as he found out she is pregnant, right, she's going to side with the kids automatically. And that tells me that this was a last-minute decision from the writer's side, saying that I need someone to help this kids escape.
Which I wouldn't agree. I don't think you should have done that. I think the kids should have figured out how to get away. I did like the whole, if I'm gonna tell my daddy not to shoot you when he comes, and she's like, "What?
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
What do you mean? Like, if my dad's coming, he's gonna. I like you, so I'm gonna tell him not to.
Yeah, if they introduced her earlier on and says I'm pregnant, right? Now it feels like this is a going, or not even saying that she's pregnant. She's just felt like, oh my God, I need to help this kid because this is not what I signed up for. Then it makes a lot of sense, right? For her being pregnant, that tells me that this scenario was been put on, in my opinion, last minute. But again, Mark, you're welcome to contact us and tell me I'm wrong. And I'm gonna tell you right now, that's the first time someone's gonna tell me I'm wrong. But it's that this character was put in there to provide a helping hand to the kids. And as you said it correctly, if she wasn't there, it would be nice for the kids to have the ability to escape, right? And having that window high enough for the kids. Tell me what part of the world with a window that's high up in the what are they in the basement?
Well, we don't know. We don't know. Building construction codes are different all over the world. Who knows? I mean,
but
I'm willing to give that to him. I'm willing to give that to him. But I tend to agree. And I mean, we're being a little critical here about the plot points. I mean, would I have rather the kids not be introduced into it as their main motivation? I think I would have preferred that. I would have liked Duffy's thing to be more about defeating Khan's overarching plan. That's what I would have liked to have seen a little bit more than the subplot. I guess he probably went that decision because it gets Nicole involved. She's invested. Maybe that's why he wrote it that way. I'm not entirely sure.
Well, here's the thing too. One of the takeaway from the last 2 chapters. Yeah. When Condor asked the children, who helped you escape, right? And she point and the older daughter point out to the Russian guy that's guarding the door, and the Russian doesn't speak English, and the Russian's just like, what's up? I was like, and she pointed out to the guy, and I was like, damn, that's actually very good. That was a very, very good answer. And when they threw the IT lady to the kids, and she's trying to protect them, and said, don't say anything. So she already had a plan. This child had a plan to mislead Condor, and it almost worked. It almost worked, and I'm glad it didn't work, because it gave the opportunity to give a little bit more tension, right? And it was very, very nice to read that. But at the same time, when Nicole, when I think her name is she was helping the kids, Nicole came up and, don't screw up. This is my children. If you're not helping us, I can cut you open, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay, it makes a lot of sense, right? It makes all the interaction between Nicole, the Chinese lady, and the kids in the kitchen makes a lot of sense, and no issues there. But again, would it be easier if you introduce a character way earlier on, so this character has always been there? But I felt like this character showed up halfway to provide support for the kids that may or may not relevant for the story if they just lower down that window.
I think that writing time could have been spent differently with a different, like I said, different plot line about Duffy going after Khan or something, or give more reading time to Khan, perhaps, plot to Khan. But overall, what would you rate the book?
I rate the book 8 out of 10 because I really enjoyed the fight scene. I enjoyed the plot line. There are some issues that I do question, but they're so minute that it does not affect the overall rating. Would I recommend this book to be read by my other friends, my family members? Yes, I'll definitely recommend, especially if they start with book 1. How about you?
I actually completely agree with your assessment wholeheartedly. I don't think
that's new. That is new.
That was great. Now, you said everything I was about to say. That is a great assessment. So I guess we jointly agree that this is a recommended book. Spoilers ahead for Expeditionary Force Book 17, Task Force Hammer. Here's the situation. After an intense battle, Task Force Hammer is scattered and Valkyrie is heavily damaged. The worst part is that the outsider has fooled everyone and Skippy has been lost, falling into a star. The merry band of pirates must pull together and figure out a way to rescue Skippy. Join us again next time as we discuss chapters 1 to 4 of Expeditionary Force Book 18, Gateway, next time on Your Bookmarks Podcast. Thank you for joining us today. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and share a review. We love to hear from you. Send us an email at yourbookmarksinfo@gmail.com. Join us again right here where you left off.